Hey guys, good morning. Today we're at Old Blue. That's right, we're at Goodwill. We're gonna get in here, see if we can't find anything for resale to try to make a profit. She's a small Goodwill because that's what we got to work with, and we're gonna work it. All right, guys, we're gonna get inside. Let's hit it. There it is. It's Goodwill. Goodwill, be good to us today, Goodwill. Come on. Alrighty, here we are inside. I will say this video, we are going to jump around a lot. Small aisles, crowded, you know the routine. The first up is that I did see this little, he very much looked Mexican to me, or Southwestern style. The writing definitely was in Spanish. He was made out of wood. I did try to run some comps, but couldn't be found on anything. It did read like a newer piece, so I did decide to go ahead and leave it behind. And right below it, I did find this mug. It is obviously a pair of jeans. There was some crazing to it, so I did identify it as being a little bit older of a piece. There was a small chip on it. I ran a quick comp. They did go for about $15 to $20, so we did pick that up for 99 cents. Now here we are in the white aisle. I know it is typically very boring, but again, you never know till you try. Got to go down every aisle, right? You never know what you're gonna find, folks. And what did I find but this pig butt? No. It is a cheese plate. Obviously, he is missing his board. I did flip him over, and while it was made in China, he did have some resale value on him. Unfortunately, just due to the fact that he was missing the board, I did go ahead and leave it behind. But again, at 99 cents, there definitely was room for a profit on that. Now, I did see this little box of dogs. A lot of them were reading very Homeco to me in that 1980s bisque, and lo and behold, there is the gold Homeco sticker. I know that some people absolutely love and adore these. They're just not really the kind of 80s vibe that I'm looking for resale. And in the brown aisle, I did see this great plug-in stereo. It is Sony, and I did pick it up, and it did have quite a bit of weight to it. I was like, oh, do I want to get this? It was $4.99. I thought it had a really good look, and I thought, you know what, let me put it back. I'm going to think about it. Next up, I did see this cute little bunny cookie jar, and I was like, are you going to be new? Are you new? You're new. You're new. Oh, look at that. Made in Taiwan. You're new. But still a really cute aesthetic if you kind of wanted to have a little bit of a kitsch to like a cottagecore or a farmhouse look. It would have been adorable. I did see this little grape jelly jar next to it. Now the spoon was included, but it was plastic, so most of the vintage or older ones, they are going to be ceramic or glass. So I did leave it behind because, again, I was like, oh, we're not really trying to do the whole new thing. And I did see this cute Santa cookie jar. Now he did, made in China. There was a lot of it. There was a lot of tomfoolery going on in the Goodwill, trying to trick me. And up next, we're going to jump to these great blue glass candlesticks. And I was like, surely these are vintage. And then I flipped them over and no, they're not, Michael. They're actually from Hobby Lobby. No, thank you. It's a great vintage look to it. So again, if you were looking for a vintage piece, you could definitely pick them up. Now I did see this, and it did read Uranium Glass to me. It was only one. I did look for its mate. It was nowhere to be found. It was only 99 cents. And I was like, but do I really want to get one? And I was like, oh, not really. I want both. So I temporarily left it behind. And I did see this really cute acrylic skull hand mug. It was obviously new. This piece did not trick me, but we're looking for the vintage, folks, the vintage. Now this was absolutely adorable, and I knew that it was new, but it looks like one of those chocolate bunnies that you get at Easter that are foil wrapped. It was only $2.99, but it did have a very Victorian feel to it, that color palette. It was adorable. Again, something if you were shopping on a budget at $2.99, it does have a great vintage look to it, but since it wasn't truly vintage, we did leave it behind. Now, I did find, no, this is definitely not vintage, but it is a little cable bite, and I have wanted one for a hot minute. I just haven't found a creature that I've really wanted, and this one was a gecko, so heck yeah, I picked it up. Now, we are in clear glass. This is an Imperial daisy and button. I believe, and I'm using the mug as a reference for the size there. I believe that y'all, I don't know. It screamed ice bucket to me. If it's a sugar bowl, that's a whole lot of sugar. That's just, you're pounding on diabetes door if you're using that for your sugar bowl. Not that I'm judging you, mind you. Not that I'm judging you. Now, it is unmarked, but it is in the daisy and button pattern. I'm pretty sure. Again, by Imperial Glass. I loved those trophy handles. It was a thick, solid piece of glass. It's something, again, that you could use year round. And at $2.99, you know what? I decided to go ahead and take a risk. Again, it's clear glass. I know it's not a lot of people's bag, but while I was picking this piece up, the worker was putting out this piece, and it was the matching decanter. Now, I did not get the decanter simply because it's much more specific. It has a much more utilitarian purpose. Now, you could certainly use that and dress up any kind of decor with that clear glass, but I did leave that particular piece behind. And because I started to get my hands full, and that Imperial Glass was quite heavy, I did get one of the little basket carts. And I do like the basket carts because they're easier to maneuver, especially when there's a lot of people in the store. However, I will say, if you do get a cart, it can block you in to prevent people from trying to steamroll you. So, little tip there for you. There's overly aggressive shoppers. Use the cart to at least block one side of yourself, right? And I did see this Sesame Street. I thought it was a pillowcase. It turns out that it was just a flat sheet for a child's bed, and it was from 2015. So I did leave that behind. Now, I know a lot of people don't know this about me, but I do collect movies. I don't have To Kill a Mockingbird. I always look at the movies. I'm not going to bore you with going over as many movies as I did, but I also picked up a great French film, Amélie, Audrey Tautou. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend getting it. And I did decide to go ahead and show you guys all of the movies that I got. Look at that Murder Rock. I wake up screaming. I mean, come on. If that doesn't say cheesy 80s horror flicks, I don't know what does. And I love it. And I did decide to go ahead and look at the Plush. Y'all, I have a sad story. The night before, I was bidding on a Rushton Lion. It is one of my grails, and I lost it. It sold for $836, so it went well above my max bid, but we're still on the hunt. And while we're hunting around, I did see this teal or turquoise colored ceramic pig. Now, it had that faux crazing where it was so obviously faux, and look at that, made in China. Again, though, it was still a really cute decor piece. So if you like the vintage stuff and aren't finding the vintage stuff, throw that in there. And I did see this ceramic, or pardon me, pottery creamer. Now, it looked manufactured to look like an artisan piece with that really smooth bottom. There was no marking to it. Again, shopping on a budget, go for it. Now, I did decide to go back and get this uranium candlestick because I thought it was really cute, because what you can do is you can take a mercury glass tree topper and put it in there and use that as your display base. Put that on a mantle or on a shelf. It'll really dress it up and look fancy. Got that tip from Michelle. And we're in the blue aisle. Now, I did see this cute little turquoise or aqua blue glass bell, but what really caught my eye, truth be told, is this acrylic mug. And then we did find some acrylic tiki mugs. I did run a comp on these. I mean, at 99 cents, hey, go for it. You throw in a party, you don't mind them getting broken, have at it. And the little luau mug, again, an acrylic, a plastic. So great if you're shopping on a budget, And why bother with solo cups when you could drink out of a tiki man? I mean, come on. I'd rather the tiki man personally, but Now, I did see this recycled glass bowl. Oh, and then I noticed it. At first glance, I didn't notice it, but then I noticed that the red was flash, and it is 100% glass made in Spain. Unfortunately, I would have gotten this. If this was not stained, or as we say, flashed, I probably would have picked it up, but it was in fact, and the paint was wearing off. So I did leave that behind, but I love that white swirl, how it's very smoky, very foggy effect to it. It's just a shame that that exterior was scratched up pretty bad. And I did find a piece of Pyrex, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to see what this dishwasher damaged Pyrex is going for. And it was only $3.99. Yeah, it's seen its better days, but you know what? Because sometimes you'll see crazy prices on the Pyrex because they just see Pyrex and they throw like a $20 price tag on there. Who remembers these bowls? I had these as a child growing up. You would eat your salad out of them is what we always would put in those bowls was salad. You always ate your salad out of the wood bowls. And I did see this little, what is this, burl wood? It's like that acrylic, plasticky, Arrow Anko. Atlantic City. Again, I typically don't go for the souvenir pieces because they're very specific, and they're much harder to sell. And I did go back to this Sony radio because I was like, but should I get it for Jimmy then? And then I could not find an outlet to find out if it worked. So I was hesitant to purchase it. Nothing was like rattling around in it, but I still think it's got a really cool aesthetic to it. And speaking of the 80s, look at this chick. Get it, girl. She's sweating out to the oldies. And not only that, but like, y'all, we're in a time capsule. Look, I learned how to typewrite on an electronic typewriter before they switched over to computers. I mean, talk about memories, you guys. At this point, I was just kind of meandering around, making sure that I didn't miss anything. And in the white aisle, I did notice that I had missed this white ceramic planter. It was unmarked from a manufacturer. It had a little bit of an Art Deco, a mid-century vibe to it, but without knowing the maker, I did decide to go ahead and leave it behind. And we're coming up to my assault. It all happened because of this rude child's first act practice guitar. When I picked it up, I did pick it up by the head of it, and you can see those little wires that are the string. Well, let me tell you what. They did get me pretty darn good. Now, I don't know that I can show blood on YouTube, so I did throw the Band-Aid up there, but I was able to wipe most of it up, and I immediately sanitized my hand. My face says it all. Well, that is it for Goodwill. Yeah, I've never been stabbed in Goodwill before, so that was fun. Yeah, and they're still not providing bags, and you have to ask for things to get wrapped. So that was a fun trip. Goodwill was definitely full of a lot of tricks today. I mean, you know, me and my novice eye, that's not to blame at all. So a lot of stuff made to look old that was definitely new. We did catch on a couple of times, so I am proud of myself there. Yeah, it was a good one. But I still found some cute stuff. I'm really liking the Indiana glass, or pardon me, the Imperial glass glass decanter. You know, it is clear, but I do see you could certainly use it as a utilitarian piece, but I think it would be great, especially with those glass handles and the lid, in your decor, and you could fill it with different items throughout the year to kind of dress it up for the holidays or leave it out plain. Putting in twinkle lights in there would be really cute. So anyhow, guys, I hope that you had a good time. You got a laugh today, for sure. And until next time, guys, remember, keep it rusty, crusty, and dusty. Bye, guys.